Hey guys, hey, this is Robert Jean here in Oklahoma, and I've got some trans monkeys sitting behind me because who's a trans monkey? That is all of us. So, 252,000 people die every year. Diabetes. Obesity, 324,000 people. Obesity. Hospital errors in the hospital. 440,000 people die because of hospital errors. So, one of the things is I've been working with a lot of people over the years, and of course, understanding the dynamics of how our minds work and how stress and emotions affect everything we do. It affects what you put in your mouth, it affects your health, it affects your relationships, it affects everything. And yes, a lot of these things are preventable. You look at cancer, for example, they can back up to 18 months prior to the diagnosis of cancer, some major emotional trauma. And, of course, doing this work, I've seen so many individuals who's waited too long. That means their body is falling apart. They're so scared of what's going on inside their own head. And then finally, it's time for them to die. And now they want to try to save themselves. And, it's just, what can you do, really? And I understand why people are afraid to go inside themselves or look and see what's going on inside. But the truth is, there is an easy way out of dealing with this stuff, emotional stuff, It reminds me of the lady who came to see me, and she'd been seeing me for several times, and dealing with a lot of emotional hurts, pains, and dramas and traumas. And one day, her friend came with her, and she was sitting over here, and I was working over here. And then her friend said, I don't know, whatever her name was, do the big one. Do the big one. And she starts crying, no, I can't do the big one. And I said, you don't have to tell me what the big one is. You don't have to say anything about it to me personally. I can still help you change it without even talking about it. So she said, okay. So we started working on this. And then we started working on it. All of a sudden, she starts to share what happened. And so what happened was she was 17 years old. She got pregnant. And she was put in a home for unwed mothers. And she gave her baby away. And this is a major emotional issue in her life. It had impacted her in such a profound way. So here it is. This thing that she had created in her life has controlled her whole existence, has haunted her from that day forward. And the interesting thing is she went home after that session, and she came back the next session. I got tears in my eyes just thinking about it. She said, you know what, Robert, I'm moving. I'm moving to Louisiana because that baby that I gave birth to has been looking for me, and she has a baby due, and I'm going to be there with her. Now, true story. So you think about it. A lot of this stuff that we've been running from and not wanting to look at, the traumas, the hurts, the fears, they show up in physical ways. They show up in illnesses. They show up in addictions. That means you're trying to avoid your emotional hurts and dealing with your stuff. You'll go smoke, you'll drink, you'll eat, you'll shop, you'll use drugs, you'll do whatever you can do to avoid what's inside you, and it doesn't actually work. It just escalates the problem in those areas until eventually it destroys you. And the reason why I'm even saying this is because I was talking to someone, and how they're so scared of healing themselves or letting go and visiting what's inside themselves. It's actually destroying them. And it's like, I have a lot of people who come who's severely ill with fibromyalgia, EME, chronic fatigue syndrome. They have chemical sensitivities. They have lifetime of pains everywhere, moving from here to there and everywhere. And of course, in the coping world of emotional ignorance, is what we do is we pretend as if it didn't happen. We don't look at it. We don't want to visit it. We don't want to go there. But the brain has captured this experience, and this experience is sitting in the background of your own brain, waiting to protect you at the fortunate moments of your life, which in turn creates illnesses, creates all these things. And so whenever I was working with this individual, and she said, you know what, Robert, I have been dragging this around ever since I was 13 years old. And my whole life was based on this one experience because it had such a major emotional impact. And we worked on her within less than 20 minutes. This emotional event has plagued her whole life, is now no longer controlling her life. And she can talk about it, she can write about it, she can share it, and it's gone. But before that, she was so scared. So only reason why I'm talking about these things is because, you know, to me, it's a crying shame that people are not able to find a way out. And so, we see a lot of people such as, like Rose Hartgrove or Tiffany Jiffers or hundreds of these other people who've decided to come in and try to figure out and test the waters of what I teach to heal themselves. Of course, they've taken a slow boat to China. They're rowing it by hand, trying to figure out, and they try all the different therapies and all this stuff. I said, listen, save you some time. Save you some time. Take the online level 1 course. Save you some time. Learn how to heal your body from inside your mind outwards. Do trainings, do something, and invest in your brain and invest in what you're doing up here, and your life will get better. And of course, if you're running from yourself, you take yourself everywhere you go. And so I'm just telling you, it just so, it touches me in a way that I wish I could make everybody do this, is take control of their mind, change their hearts, and change what's going on inside their head. But you can't. Everyone has a right to die the way they don't want to die. And so fear is a major controller in their life. So, I logically understand it, it's how it works. Like somebody said, just beat me with a stick, but don't taunt me with my emotions. Don't look at my emotions. And so I can see that. I can see that why people do that, but logically it's not too healthy because we believe what's in our head is true. We act like they're true, and it controls us as if it were true. But there is a way out, and you've seen the testimonials. We have hundreds of testimonials, live testimonials, real testimonials of people who've actually changed their life. Now, the ones who actually stuck with it, kept working in their head, kept working whatever it is, and cleaning up whatever it is. And so, I have a level 1 training, level 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it's designed to heal you. It's designed to teach you how to take control of your life. And the nice thing is that we create a community of people who help you. That means we care about you, we want to encourage you, we're going to help you figure out how to work on yourself. And then as you do that, we're also creating a community who supports each other. That means as you come in, you're scared, you got your emotional issues, you want to heal your life, you want to change your life, but you don't know how. And what we do is we've created a system to where people help each other grow. And so we educate you, we pull you along, we have you get sessions to work on your own stuff. And then after you move up the levels, like level 2, now you start learning how to help other people, also helping yourself. And you're required to get sessions on yourself with each other. So you're now practicing. And then what happens is you create your own best friend, the best friend who will save you when you're having your bad day. You call up your tapping buddy and say, hey, I've got some stuff going on, and you help each other. That means it's a non-judgmental process. It means we know everybody has problems, it's a part of life, but we also know how to make the changes, and that's what we're here to do, is help change you and to help you get control. And of course, over time, not only will your body heal, no longer will a lot of people lose weight, a lot of people get all kinds of different ways to improve. Now, somebody just asked me, how do you stay in the moment of now? Well, now is real right now, but the deal is how our brains work. That means our brains operate from emotional conditions and triggers. And so, which means is like you're having an experience right now, and I talk about monkeys, or I talk about my dog died, or talk about mothers, and all of a sudden you're being triggered from your brain, information come up from your brain, and now you go into what we call an autonomic trance or autonomic response, and now you're not in the now, you're in the past. So how do you stay in the nows? The best way is this one thing, is clean up your past. Clean up and make peace with what you're holding in your mind. Now, by the way, the past is over. It doesn't exist. And what you're doing is actually cleaning up your brain, your memories, and your references. And as you rewrite the story inside your brain, that means your brain will use a new resource on you today, because we're always transitioning from one moment to the next. And depending on the triggers, depending on the emotional events in your life, and depending on the data you have in your head, you clean your head up, you're more in the moments of now, and you're not being pulled into an autonomic response or a trance. It means you're not getting sucked into people's story because you have your own internal power. It's not a battle anymore, but if you go to the work, which is the real work, the grunt work, the foundation is change memories, address the memories inside your mind. As you address the memories, your life gets better, period. So learning how to change your mind and change your health is the jackpot for youth. So, and so that's how it works. We had, thank you, Yvonne. Yvonne definitely, whenever she first came, she's a therapist, and was depressed and lifelong depression, and she learned how to take control. And she lives in Germany. So thank you, Yvonne. I'm very proud of you, by the way. You're the one I keep looking at in the past saying, wow, what amazing changes you've made. And of course, her husband has also reaped the benefit, because as Yvonne works on herself, that means she becomes more in herself, in her relationship, and also operating from a powerful position, which is non-judgment, being at peace with the world, being at peace with ourselves. So that's the key, really. It's real work, though, and so, which is pretty amazing, really. If you can change how you respond to the world, you change how people push your buttons, or you change how you respond to smells or sensations or conversations or people, you get control. So that's the key. So again, there's a lot of this stuff about the mercury stuff. There's somebody talking about the mercury stuff that's going on. Now, to be honest with you, my honest opinion about this is a lot of it has to do with the emotional dynamics, and there is the hypnosis of gluten or the mercury stuff. And yes, if anybody who has strong emotional reactions, you look back inside your mind, you'll find also a lot of emotional experiences, unpleasant experiences. And yes, mercury may have an impact on your body, but I've worked with a lot of people who have all the mercury out, and they did all the mercury out, and they're still just as emotionally messed up. And it's not because of the mercury, it's because of what's going on inside their brain. So the important thing is there's a lot of people who have mercury in their mouth and feelings, and they have no issues, none whatsoever. It's only a select few. And there is a fear about this. There's also emotional hypnosis going on about this mercury stuff. So, but that's just my opinion. The most important thing is if you address your emotional stuff, that's the key, the emotional stuff. Because look at it, diabetes has a lot to do with what you put in your mouth. Obesity has everything to do with your mouth. Emotional errors, hospital errors, most people are in the hospital because of stress and emotional issues. Stress and emotional issues is the leading cause of death. Stress and emotional issues is the leading cause of relationship problems, suicide. Massive amount of people now, like 70,000 plus people a year are overdosing on drugs. And it's because, again, the number one coping skill in the world is to avoid what I feel, deal with what is going on in my head, and the best way to avoid it is to escape. Food, drugs, alcohol, sex, cleaning, shopping, you name it. So what you need to do is, I recommend, and I'm telling you to do this, guys, I'll put a link down here, start the Level 1 online course. Start the You Can Heal Your Body course. Start the course that my relationships, my family screwed me up or messed me up. Because again, when I work with people, again, this has a lot to do with relationships. Relationship at home, relationship at school, relationship with your church or your spiritual trainings. All of this has a major impact. And we do have some seminars coming up. I've got one coming up in just a few weeks. I'm not for sure what the topic is. It may be about relationships. It's a weekend course, those who hadn't been to Level 1. 2-day course, by the way, buy one, get one free, and you can bring your friend, bring somebody to Oklahoma City, God's country, And we have also level, you can heal your body in Las Vegas in August, and then also level 1 also in August. I highly recommend, September. And also we got one in Germany, level 1, and also we have Heal Your Body in Romania this year. So my recommendation, guys, if you're afraid of going there, you're afraid of healing, that fear keeps you locked. Afraid of looking inside your head, that keeps you locked into it. And by the way, fears are affirmations. The more you affirm the fear, the bigger the fear gets. Fears are great wishes. The more you focus on it, the more you get it. So learn how to like yourself, love yourself from within yourself. And what you do up here, you do to other people. So high five, thumbs up, love yourself, grow. The most important thing for you to do is to live your life today and the rest of your life, because I promise you this, if you change the memories and references and your emotional responses inside you, your world gets better. I guarantee you that. This is Robert Jean here in Oklahoma. Peace, guys. Thank you for being here. Come see us. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Susan. Yes, I enjoyed England for sure.